She coming through, y'all. It's about to get started.
I did
Chelsea! What's up? How are you?
What's up? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Yo, you are my best friend in my head. So it's like, so I apologize if I act a fool right now because I am such a Vida fan, yo.
Yo, so many people are my friends in my head and they just have to deal with it.
It's like all good. Yo, Chelsea, welcome to Dulce, presented by the New York Latino Film Festival. It is such an honor for you to be here. Like, you know, we're all about uplifting, you know, Latinx voices in film and television. And as you could tell by like the love in the room, and I don't know if you're feeling like the love in my heart right now. Like Vida's the shit, yo. Vida is the shit, and you are doing your damn thing, Chelsea.
Thank you.
Like,
thank you so much.
Like I'm a big, you know, believer in the universe, and I'm just so excited that like out of all the times this could have happened, like it lined up now, so we could talk about like everything that Mari's going through, because she's going through it right now. She's going through it.
Yeah.
But before we have that conversation, just sometimes you never know what people like, if they have stars or if they've been able to see the show. Can you like tell us a little bit about like Vida as a whole, and then like your character Mari, just in case someone hasn't seen it?
Got you. So Vida is a show that you can only watch on Stars. So you have to get the app or have the channel. I'm sorry, you can't, like, if you bootleg it, it doesn't count. You know what I mean? You gotta be real. No, seriously, I talked to so many Latinos, and it's only Latinos that are the ones that are saying they bootleg it, which sucks.
Yeah. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, like 15 people got my password.
But so it's a show that follows two sisters moving back to their where they grew up in East LA when their mother dies, to like take care of the bar and the apartments that she owns. But then when they get there, they find out she was married to a woman when she was like disowning one of the daughters for being like lesbian. So there's a lot of like issues there. And then you have the gentrification aspect where my character comes in, where I'm an anti-gentrification activist and they're gentrifiers and gentrifiers. So I hate them. So then there's beef, but then there's a lot of shit that goes on. But it all follows like family issues, love triangles, secrets, acceptance, you know, like aspect as well. Like, so all the storylines are very universal.
Amen.
It just works really well with our show.
And I have to be honest, the first time I ever went to LA, I was like 25. So like the experience in Vida, even though, you know, I'm a queer Latinx dude, you know, from the hood, but my hood is different from LA hood. Do you know what I'm saying? But when I watch Vida, it's like I'm in it. Like I grew up with the Maris, you know what I'm saying? And like to see the Mari story, you know, on TV, it just hits my heart. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I love so much about this show, is that it is giving voice to people who were voiceless. Do you know?
Yeah, if you think about it, like none of the characters are stereotypical. Like there's no cholo, there's no maid. You know what I mean? Like it's human beings living, and that's I think the most refreshing thing is that the writers' room was all Latinx, all brown. You know, all 3 seasons it was all brown. So I
say it again, Chelsea. Say it again.
That you had that on premium cable or network TV. You know what I mean? Like, so that's such a big deal.
And it shows. It shows in the quality of the writing. It shows in the visuals, because correct me if I'm wrong, the 2nd season was all directed by POC women, no? Or something like that? Or
it was
like
all Latina women, season 2 and season 3.
Yes.
And season 1, it was all people of color.
Yeah.
We had Asian, we had Black, we had Latina, like.
Yeah. We just got to comment. Tanya Saracho is amazing. She is. Like, that should be X somewhere. Like, you know, because she's a visionary. You know what I'm saying? Because it takes courage to bring a story like this to life, because it's revolutionary. It hasn't been done. You know what I'm saying? So seeing that is just like, so exciting. So people can, correct me if I'm wrong, the 1st season of Stars is available free on the app.
For free, yes.
Yes.
The 1st season is free on the app.
Free $99, y'all. If y'all haven't seen Vida, y'all can go. Yes, and then you can like harass your cousin. Y'all can go pool $8.99 or whatever. Because I gave my password, because I'm like, people have to see the show because it's that important. You know what I'm saying? So do what you got to do to watch season 2 and season 3, and you can do it, because right now season 3 is the last season.
It's episode 2.
We're at episode 2, so we got a few more episodes, but it's still like the last season, which is it just breaks my heart. Damn.
I know.
Yeah, but you know what? But we're just grateful that it exists, and we get to still celebrate.
You know, and that's the thing where, like, if you think about, like, the last 10 years, like, there was the George Lopez show. There was Islos High. Then there was Jane the Virgin. You know, they all happened at different times. And this, right now, the last couple years, it was Vida, One Day at a Time, and On My Block. And then this year alone, there's like 5 new shows. Yeah. Identify, the expanded universe of Ashley Garcia, The Baker and the Beauty, which I am seriously obsessed with.
Yo, we
like,
both
seriously obsessed with.
We've had,
you know, Roswell, New Mexico has another season. Station 19, like the United We Fall is supposed to be coming out soon. Like, there's just so much more content now. So we have to get behind those shows and we have to watch.
Yeah, because exactly, we have to show up for each other. You know what I'm saying? Because in like the larger scale of Hollywood, they just kind of throw us together. You know, so and it's easy to kind of keep that mentality, but it's like, nah, yo, even though that experience may not be exactly my experience, I gotta show up for my people. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the only reason why we're having so much content, because people are finally realizing that our stories matter. You know, our stories deserve to be told, and like there's dollar signs behind it too. Like,
and it doesn't have to be the same thing. Vida is nothing like Baker and the Beauty.
Not at all.
You have aliens in Roswell, New Mexico. You have firefighters in Station 19. Like, it's so diverse, and that's something that's so important that people have to see. Like, all brown people aren't the same. You know what I mean? Like, and we have differences in our own walks of life. Like, even 2 people living in Boyle Heights have different experiences growing up. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, One Day at a Time, Identified, and Vida all take place in Boyle Heights, no?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so or something like. I mean, yeah, maybe at least 2 of them. At least 2 out of the 3.
Yeah, I know Identified in Boyle Heights. Vida is, and I think, you know what? I think One Day at a Time is Echo Park.
Okay, that's what my bad. I live in the Bronx, so the Bronx is just like everything in California is Nebraska. No, so universal themes. Yes. Mari just experienced something huge that at some point everybody got to go through. And it's all fucking Johnny's fault. I'm so mad at Johnny.
Well, you know, and that's the funny thing is that a lot of people have asked me that, like, is she mad at him? And I think that there is some anger that she has towards him. And that's why she does say, like, if you only had taken him to his appointment, Johnny, like, if you only did that one thing. But then at the end of the day, she also blames herself because she got kicked out. So she wasn't there taking care of her dad.
Well, that's the thing.
And then the last scene with Mari in the bed, she finds the conchas. So he wasn't even taking care of himself. So it's like there's not one person to blame. You know?
It's all of us. For those of you who don't know, like, Mari is the ultimate caretaker, and that's what I like. She is like, she got everybody's back, and I think that's why, like, in my head, like, me and Mari are the homies, because it's just like, you know, that's the friend that you want. You know what I'm saying? In the one who's gonna show up with you, the one who's gonna get locked up with you. You know what I'm saying? You know, and you know, seeing her journey throughout the show has been so exciting. What they're like, we love her. We love Mari. What has been the most exciting thing about playing Mari, about bringing her to life?
It's playing someone that's so badass and such a chingona that is also victim to machismo-ness, that's naive when it comes to men, like Tlaloc. You know what I mean? Like, that's the biggest thing where when people hitting me up and being like, oh, why is Mari so stupid? Or I can't believe that she's a chingona. But it's like, that's what people like. That's a real person that has strengths and weaknesses. And I love being able to portray that, you know, and it's super important to just be able to play a human being, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I'll speak for my damn self. I have made so many bad judgments when it comes to love or like dick. Like, whatever. Like, it is like, it's just like,
oh man, I was worse than Mari at 18. I was
right. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like that's universal experience. You know what I'm saying? Because no matter how bad as she is, she's still a human. You know, and like we're all doing our best, and Mari's doing her best within the circumstances that she have, with the machismo, the toxic masculinity in the household, and everything that's happening around her, and the gentrifiers and the gentrifiers. It's just like, but that's why we root for you. You know.
Yeah.
I have
and
to
then
say,
I think another thing too is at the end of season 2, well, in the middle of season 2 and at the end, she realized there was a gray area because she had always believed like there was gentrifiers and it was her people against them, you know? Yeah. And when she was living with the sisters, Melly, hi Melly.
Yo, what up? Thank you for
when she
watching.
was living with the sisters, she realized there was that gray area.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why she ended the season not being a part of the protest, but not stopping it either. Because she's like, shit, I've always believed this and that. And now there's here. What do I do? And how does that shape her? So I'm really excited for that. You see that going into the season, into this new season. You'll see that play out throughout the rest of the season.
And that just speaks to the beauty of the writing. You know what I'm saying? The beauty of the writing, because that's humanity. Do you know what I'm saying? Until you learn how to see yourself in the other person, that's how we collectively grow. That's why Mari's growing. Do you know what I'm saying? Because she may not see herself, you know, all the time in like Lynn, you know, shout out to Melissa, but she's learning. And like that's how we collectively grow. And like, it has been so beautiful to watch your character grow. Like that moment when you show up with the lipstick in that last episode after being like told not to, and you're like, nah, I'm suiting up, yo. Like I'm preparing myself.
And that's the thing where it was her armor, and that's like, when me and Tanya had this conversation from day one, that like her lipstick, her bandana, like this was her armor ready to go out into the world and slay dragons, you know? And it was so beautiful that of course, Johnny being machismo was like, you probably shouldn't wear your lipstick because people ain't gonna like it. You know what I mean? Like, but then she does it anyway. It was like, no, I need that. You know, and I think it was the first moment where she put herself first. And it was the first moment she's ever done that in the show.
Yeah,
you know
because
I mean?
oh my God, because oftentimes in Latinx culture, it's like, no, that's selfish. You got to do it for the family, with the family, and it's like, no, it's like that, like that's self-full. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't go around living your life trying to please everybody else. Like you got to make sure you got you. And Mari has been spending so much time making sure that everybody else is taken care of. Like it's like that episode, you did that shit. You did it because we really got to see you like the evolution. You know, and with that being said, so like I lost my father 7 years ago. So when you had that moment and I've cried that cry, like that guttural. What was that like when you did the read through and you knew, oh shit, okay, this is happening, and then having to deliver it that second, because that's a lot.
Yeah, well, luckily Tanya had told me and Carlos beforehand, like season 3, he's
good.
dying. You know, so we knew that, but we didn't know exactly how it was gonna turn like out. But it was super surreal because a couple weeks before, my mom had a health scare, which I thought was a stroke. Like I was on the phone with her and she was literally like, Chelsea, I can't close my eye. Chelsea, I can't move my mouth. Like, and she's like, I'm having a stroke. And I live like half an hour away from her. So I'm like, oh, okay, we got to call 911. So I three-way 911. The paramedics were like 4 minutes out. I got in my car and I was driving. And I remember I literally had to call my friend Bobby and be like, yo, you need to talk to me on the phone because my vision is blurry. Like I couldn't see in front of me. And like, I got chills right now. But so for those 30 minutes that I was driving, I literally thought, fuck, I'm going to lose my mom. And my mom is like my heart. You know what I mean? Like, I know the parents and kids have a good relationship and they're tight, but like me and my mom have always been partners, like since I was a kid. Like we were husband and wife sort of thing. So it's a little different for me. But so luckily when I got to the hospital, it ended up being Bell's palsy. So it was just her face. It wasn't like her whole thing. But I remember like that feeling and just being like, oh my God, like, So I use the substitution method in my work and I connect to like real shit in my life. So I connected to that. And my mom actually came to visit set that day, my mom and my niece, and they had left like, because I was like, okay, like I got to get emotional. You got to leave me alone because if I see you, you know? So they left. So like after I did the scene, which ended up coming out like, I think we did 2 takes, but they used the first one. Like the first take was it. And then we tried to do another one. And I think we were both like, this wasn't the same. Like it was that one. But so once we were done, I was walking to Crafty and I called my mom and she didn't answer. So I just started sobbing. I was like, why isn't she answering? And then like, I called her and then finally she answered the phone. I was like, why would you do that to me? And I was legit like crying all over again. And then people were like, wait, what's wrong? What happened? And I was like, she didn't answer the phone. Like, it was crazy.
But that just goes to show that you were there. You
Yeah.
you had it already and accessible, and it was like, and then the mind.
Yeah,
the mind
and that's the thing that I've been feeling. I feel so grateful and honored to have portrayed that as real as I did, because that's the one thing that I keep getting. Like, yo, that was me when my my parent died. Like, that was me. Like, somebody even told me they found conchas in their dad's bed. Like, legit same thing. Like, that they went into the room to kind of like sit with their like last moment or whatever, and there was conchas. So like, it's crazy that it was written that way and it happened to real people. But yeah, it was just such a surreal moment, and to be able to again give a voice to people that maybe, like you said, like you felt it, you know, like.
But that's the power of the show, and you do that episode after episode. All of you guys are doing an episode after. I have to. Someone says they cried with you, like it is for any, because there's. I mean, at least there's no greater loss. Like, it's one of those things where you experience that and your life is forever changed, you know, and it's up to you. Like, you know, how do you cope with it? Like, for me, like, you know, that was a major catalyst. I like lost 200 pounds. I was like, I'm, you know, stopping drinking. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? So my question is, what can you tell us about like how this will affect Mari, you know, because losing a
well, I think the biggest thing is that Mari has always been weighed down by her family, like by her dad and her brother. So now you're not going to see that weight on her. And you finally see her kind of doing for her. You know what I mean? Like, that's going to be the biggest thing. Which, like I said, the first little step was her putting on that lipstick, whether her brother said no or not, knowing that her tia was going to be mad, but like, this is what I need to do for me. So you definitely see that going forward for the rest of the season, which I really
the emancipation of Mario. Just like Mariah. That was Mariah's best album. You know what I'm saying? That weight is lifted. You know? Talking about, you know what I'm saying? So I mentioned this before. This is the last season of Vida. You've shot it. Tell us about that last day. Like, what was that like for you, your last shooting day? What was that like?
It was crazy because we were filming when like the fires were happening. So like they were filming like the stuff from episode 1 at the house, and like had to cut like half the day, and they had to go back and do it. So we filmed like 3 Saturdays while we were filming. So the last day was a Saturday when it was just me. So everybody else had wrapped on Friday or Thursday, and I was the last one. So everybody got drunk on Friday, and I couldn't get drunk to work the next day.
Damn.
But it was crazy but fun at the same time. I had scenes with a couple people, but like that weren't like the series regs or like the regular people in the cast.
But that's good because it was your day.
Everybody showed up at the end, so everybody was there for like the last hour or so. And my niece was able to be an extra. She walks in the background at one moment because she's obsessed with the show. And she could actually watch it because she's legally blind, so she can't see what's going on. But I still cover her face because she's only 11. But she just loves, like, oh my god, she's obsessed with Lynn and like her character and stuff. So we were able to have her be an extra. So my mom and my niece were there, and I'm like yelling through this window, and that was my last like scene and my last take. And then Tanya comes out, she's like, that's a wrap on Chelsea, that's a wrap on Vida. And we're just like crying, and like it was just beautiful to have everybody there and be so thankful, like, because it was crazy when we did the first season and when we wrapped the first season, we didn't know what it was going to be. We made something that we loved and that was fun and was unique, but we didn't know how it was going to be received. So to have all 3 seasons on Rotten Tomatoes be 100% is like surreal, you know? So like after season 1, when we went into season 2, we were kind of like, oh shit, this is dope. Like people are loving this. Like, oh my God. So to be able to end it, like, you know, knowing what has happened over the last 3 years was really beautiful and really, it was like just,
But that love that y'all put into it is the reason why that everybody puts into it, is the reason why y'all have 100% reviews on Rotten Tomatoes because we feel that when we watch, and like you can see, you sense that. You sense like I went to, y'all did season 2 premiere or like a special premiere at Tribeca, and I went, and I was there, and it's so funny watching y'all because y'all always on top of it.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yo,
I tell
so...
Carlos, like, yo, you have an annoying little sister for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Like,
but that's a gift. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what's the gift that Mari has given you after playing her for 3 seasons?
Wow. You know what's interesting is I didn't realize I was an activist until I worked on this, because I've always been saying like, oh yeah, support Latinos in Hollywood, blah, blah, blah. Like, and I've always been that way. But I didn't realize that was a form of activism. Yeah. And so I even do that more now because I'm like, oh no, I gotta say something. Like I'm in a position where I should say and I should do and that. So that's been something that I really appreciated through Mari, because not that but I valued it more, like being able to say something instead of just thinking like, oh yeah, I'm just talking. Like, no, I have a voice and I'm saying something important, you know? So that's a beautiful thing. And then also just what this show has done to my career and everybody else. Like, we were all pretty much nobodies when we booked the show. Like, we had all worked and we had all done stuff, but this was a show that put us to that next level. And now we're in a different place in our careers, which Tanya and Stars could have easily gone with more known names. You know what I mean? Like, that would have been easier for them.
Totally.
You know, like, but they gave us a chance, and now we're in this place in our careers where like we're on that next level and we're waiting to get to the next one and the next, you know what I mean? And we're growing, and so that's really beautiful, because like even like my stint on Shameless, I did six episodes on Shameless, 5 episodes, I'm sorry, and John Wells, the creator, is a fan of Vida. That's why I booked it. You know what I mean? Like I probably wouldn't have gotten it if it was, you know, like it's all connected in a beautiful way.
Yeah. Can I offer something, just because something you said really hit me? Y'all weren't nobodies. Y'all, we may not have a name in Hollywood, but y'all were beautiful spirits, talented spirits who were the right and perfect people to occupy those parts. And everything that is happening in your life is a manifestation of that. So it was right and perfect. Like, nobody's a nobody. Yeah.
No, I know, but I'm saying like in this Hollywood world, how many like Cholo number 1 over there and Cholo number 2?
No,
like,
totally.
You know?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But like that's why Vida again is so special, because it does not subscribe to that.
Yes.
Like the people behind it must have been like, I ain't Hollywood.
No, and you know the biggest thing, and Tanya talks about this all the time. The reason, like Stars, Marta Fernandez, who was an executive at Stars, pitched the idea of Gentifiers and Chipsters to Tanya, and then Tanya created this world. But technically, like, it came from Stars, and it came from a Latina woman in power to give Tanya a chance, and then to tell her yes to everything. When she said I wanted a full brown writers room, they were like, yeah. When she said I want all people of color directors, they said yeah. Like, there was no fight, which was the first time I think anybody has experienced that, which was amazing. So it really stemmed from having a Latina in a power position in Stars. Yeah. And that shows everyone, like, keep fucking grinding and keep growing so that you could be in that power position and you can give someone a chance.
Oh, that hit me. It did, because that's revolutionary. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think sometimes people just kind of underestimate, like, the power of what we do. Do you know what I'm saying? And like the power that it has to affect your niece. You know what I'm saying? To affect, you know, every, like, the block. You know what I'm saying? It's really, really powerful. So you've been in the game for a while. Like, when did you start acting?
I started when I was 6 years old.
6 years old. Wow.
Yeah.
Like, what was that like? Did you just wake up and be like, I wanted to be an actor? Like,
well, I kind of just came out the womb crazy and like performing. You know, like, I swear to God, I really did. And I remember it was when people had told my mom this, because I grew up in like Montebello, like East LA. So like people on the block told my mom, like, oh, you should get her in acting. You should get her in acting. And my mom never really thought about it. But we always traveled for summer. And so we went up to Hearst Castle and we were like checking it out. And then I'm over here like a monkey, like jumping around stuff, going where I shouldn't go. And this white guy told my mom, like, hey, like, she seems very outgoing. Like, have you thought about getting her in acting? And then my mom's like, wait, a white dude's telling me this? shit, maybe I should do it. Like, is this real? Like, I didn't think it was real. And then like 2 weeks later, we were in Vegas at Circus, and I decided to fake pass out in the middle of the casino. So literally, like, as we're walking in the lobby, I was like, bah! And my mom's like, Chelsea, get up. Chelsea, get up. Get up. And like, I have like tias and cousins like circling me. Like, people are starting to circle. They're trying to call security. And I'm just like on the floor. And mom was like, they are calling security. Get up. So then I finally like, what happened? Where am I? Like, and I play it off. So my mom's like, oh, damn, bitch. Okay, now we got to look into something. So we actually went with some of my neighbors to go to this like casting call, which was one of those bullshit casting calls of like, oh, give me $5,000 and we'll take your pictures. Like, bullshit. Yeah. But my mom's really smart. She actually studied law. Like, she had went to ELAC and stuff, and she got like her something. So she was smart. She's always smart. So she called actually channel like 5 and channel 7, and somebody gave her a number for an agency and was like, oh, here, call these people. And it was the Alvarado agency. And so my mom called, and they were like, hey, if you're serious, take some acting classes, take some pictures, and then come back. So we did that. And we just started. Like, I booked like a commercial, and then a couple months later, I booked the lead in a feature film that went to win the Alma Award, Best Independent Film, No Turning Back, in 2001.
At 6 years old.
I actually turned 7 on set.
What, did you know how to read at the time or no? Like,
well, no. So when I first started my acting class, I didn't know how to read. My mom would like tell me the line, and then I would just memorize it. I've always had a really good memory, so I think that also helped. But yeah, when I was 5, I didn't know how to read.
I mean,
So I was just
I barely know how to read now, and I'm like, it's all perspective. So we are almost at the time where we're gonna get some questions from people who are in the chat. So if y'all could do me a favor, if you have a question, could you click on the little question box, so then we can, so I can like, you know, figure it out that way, because sometimes questions be inappropriate. Chelsea, I don't know if you've had this experience.
Oh yeah.
But yo, with Victor,
you know what?
when Victor was here,
best fans. I have the best fans because like I'll be on an Instagram live and somebody will be like, "Oh, show me your titties," something, and then like they start being like, "Yo, what the fuck? That's so rude! Like, get the fuck out of here!" And then like they block them on the thing.
Good.
Because I don't even know how to do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's just like, so I like the little question box because you could curate it, and you know what I'm saying, keep it.
Yeah, I don't see the question box on my side though. I don't know if that matters.
I think because I'm the host, it's on my side.
Okay, perfect.
So I click on it and then I do it.
Gotcha.
So real quick though, because you got another project out, The Infiltrators, which the Infiltrators, huge indie film, won Sundance, right?
Yeah,
or like, is it really
Sundance?
Won 2 awards at Sundance. We gave it its, the New York Latino Film Festival gave it its New York premiere, and now you can actually watch it where? Like, tell us about this.
Yeah, I have the link in my bio. The amazing thing about this project is part documentary, part like fiction. So it's all about 2 youths that are DACA get themselves detained in a detention center to help get people out. And so they couldn't get footage of what happened in the detention center. So that's where I come in, where I'm playing the activist that got herself detained. And then Maynard Alvarado's playing the other activist that got himself detained. So most of it is documentary, but the stuff in the detention center is us acting and scripted from when the activists came out. Oh, yo, this is what happened. This is what they did. This is this and that. So it's all real, you know, like it came from the mouths of these activists. You know what I mean? Like, but the sad thing is that when we premiered at Sundance, we got a bunch of reviews and it was like raves and everything. And then a month later, the main activist that was a part of the film, which is why the infiltration happened, Claudio Rojas, he got detained by ICE at his check-in a month later. And then he was deported a month after that. And his lawyer said that all of his paperwork was good. Like everything was like in order, like there was no reason to do it. So the only thing that could have been is they were mad that he spoke out and he used his voice. And so it was retaliation. So not only do you watch the film and support it, which is amazing, but half of the ticket price goes to Claudio and his family because he's in Argentina and we're still trying to get him back.
So we can click on the link on your Instagram live?
On my
And
Instagram
then
bio, yeah, it's you could go to the website, which is infiltratorsfilm.com, if I'm not mistaken, and then you click the link that says like stream the Infiltrators, and then it's like Infiltrator stream something.
Yeah, and we're gonna throw it up on the New York Latino Film Festival Instagram for a while too. So
okay, perfect.
Because like we were saying, we gotta support each other, and this is such an important story. And this is about
and then these detention centers were in 2012 under Obama, when he was claiming to only be detaining and deporting criminals. When one woman that was in the detention center was from Congo, and she went to the cops to report her husband for domestic violence, and then they detained her, and she has a son that stood with the father. You know, like one of the kids was riding his bike and just got stopped and asked for his ID. You know, somebody was fishing without a license, got stopped and then detained. You know, like, so it was like so much bullshit. And then they talk about it too, like Obama stopped the deportation of one of his uncles who had like a DUI in his record. So it's just really shady and really fucked up. And especially what's happening now it's not even a detention center, that's a concentration camp. You know what I mean? With these kids in cages and these families that are separated, that people are getting corona and nobody's saying anything.
Well, you know, one of the things that
it needs to be talked about.
One of the things that brought me joy in this last episode was that tight shot of you and that big fuck Trump.
Yo, I've been rocking that since season 1.
Really? What?
Yes, it's always been on my backpack.
You know, but it was up in front. Like I never noticed it.
It was always like that. I think the only thing is that sometimes like I have my hair there or something. But I straight up, I can show you pictures from season 1. I've been rocking that since day.
I appreciate. I noticed it and I appreciate it. So we're gonna support the Infiltrators. We're gonna click on your bio. I saw somebody up in here saying, "What about the Instagram live feeds?" We're going to that now. Make sure you click on the question box because I'm gonna do that right now, and we're gonna see what we got. We want a spin-off. Let me read up here. We want a spin-off of only your character on Vida. Fave character for sure. What's your fave aspect of your character?
Yeah, that would be amazing. But the problem is, technically, there's Johnny has to be a part of it, and then you know that ends up involving Lynn, which ends up involving Emma. So it would still be the same thing.
Yeah, and
but no, my favorite part of Madi is just her badassness and how like how strong-willed she is. That she's down to fight for what she believes in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people say shit, but do they fight for it? You know what I mean? Like she backs up her bark with her bite.
Again, and that's why Mari's still my best friend in my head, yo. Like it's true. Because it's so hard to find the ride or dies in life. Yeah. So when you find your ride or dies, you gotta hold them. You're tight, and it feels like you. Oh my god! Them.
This is a super side note, but have you seen the show You on Netflix?
No, I haven't. Is it that's about a serial killer though, right?
Well, not necessarily a serial killer, but somewhat. But I was going to say something, but you're not going to get it if you haven't seen it. So, never mind.
My bad.
I was just going to talk about Ride or Die, but you haven't seen it.
I mean, if you want to talk, I could talk about Baker and the Beauty all day because that's my show. That's like...
Yo, I'm so obsessed with it. And I'm so excited of the storyline that they're going for because in episode 1, you could tell, like, so the young sister is a lesbian, or like she likes girls, right? Yeah. And then in season 2, you see that the younger brother Mateo says something about like, yo, like if you like her, call her. You know what I mean? And then in this past episode, Noah kind of spills the beans in front of the parents, and then it was like, oh shit! So the parents were the only ones that didn't know. The brothers knew, and then it's like super like religious parents. How does it work? And Lisa Vidal killed it, like being so emotional. And then I also loved it, like she was saying, like you're too young to know what you want or what you believe. But then when she was with her husband, she was like, how do I not know my daughter? Like she was saying all these things because she was hurt and mad. But at the end of the day, like how did I not see it? And she feels like, you know, it was a really beautiful moment. And again, like just talking about these characters and having these people that are human beings, even though they're characters, you know, like it's just really cool.
Yes, it's the human experience, and that's what everyone relates. That's what good writing makes people relate to, and that's why we're fortunate, you know, to have these characters. Let's see if we got any more questions. There's no more questions in the box. If any of y'all out there want to throw some our way,
I saw some in the comments.
In the comments, were they all right? So we'll go to the comments.
Wait. What? Oh, Roman, he was asking about the new movie with Shia LaBeouf.
You got a movie with Shia LaBeouf?
Collector.
Where?
Yeah, I did.
When's that coming out? Tell us about it.
So The Tax Collector is written and directed by David Ayer,
Mm-hmm.
who's famously known for like Suicide Squad and like Fury, but he's also like, he was the writer of Training Day. He wrote and directed End of Watch, Harsh Times. Like, so this is back to David Ayer in his prime of writing and directing his own shit. And it's really gritty and like crazy, but it's super amazing. And it's going to be coming out in August, which I don't know much of the details yet, but it is coming out in August. And one of my best friends, Bobby Soto, is in it, Noemi Gonzalez. So I'm super proud to be with them and sharing the screen, and we're family. And then I got to meet like Lana Parrilla and George Lopez and Cheyenne Hernandez while filming the project and meeting Shia and stuff. So it was a really cool experience. So be ready, August.
So August, we got that. We got Infiltrators right now. And And we got 6 episodes of Vida left to indulge. And that's the good thing about this season of Vida, is that you guys are doing a linear release. So it's not like we could binge. We have to like, we get to experience this all together. Yeah. Chelsea, I think we're out of time. Thank you for hanging with us. Thank you for coming out to Dulce by the New York Latino Film Festival. We got you. We're gonna put up that the Infiltrators link. My bestie in my head.
Thank you so much. No, it's so great to do stuff like this. And again, I talk about it all the time. It's so important to support Latinos and not segregate ourselves and be like, well, why is she playing a Puerto Rican, or why is she playing a, you know what I mean? Like, we got to stop all that noise and just support each other. And again, especially if you want a voice or yourself to be seen, support the shows that are out there right now with Latino youth. You know, and again, it could be shows like Baker and the Beauty and Vida that are all Latinos, or it can be Station 19 where there's a 1 or 2, or it can be Roswell, New Mexico, where there's a couple. You know what I mean? Like, just showing support and showing studios and executives like, yo, we want to see brown faces, and no, they don't have to be stereotypical. You know what I mean? Like, but we ourselves as the audience have that voice by using our viewership. Like, that one view counts as a vote to them. And that's why I do get a little butthurt with like my Latino community that's like bootlegging Vida. And I'm like, how many views does that count as? 5,000, 15, 50? And then like, would our show have gotten picked up for another season if it had more views? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so that's why I get a little like butthurt about my people. I'm like, damn, because it's all you people that I talk to that are brown that were bootlegging it. Yeah, and
but like, you know what? This can hopefully help to change it. You know what I'm saying? Because now, you know, we're informing the public, and like, when you know better, you know, you can do better. And now, like, people have no excuse now. You can get, if you watch that first season for free on Stars, you will get addicted, and you will make a way. You know, you will support season 2, season 3, so that we can continue to see, you know, our stories reflected on screen. We get to see you working all the time, which it's been such a blessing to watch you over the past couple seasons. We wish you nothing but the best, and we'll continue to support you. Check out Vida on Stars. Peace, y'all. Thank y'all for coming out.
Bye.
Later.